One thing I think I would say to people coming here is try to figure out how to distinguish between the wheat and the chaff. So every day there are a million things going on. The Commission will make some sort of announcement, something will happen in the Parliament, whatever. The bulk of that can be safely ignored, I would say. The difficulty is working out which is the stuff that you need to pay attention to. Now sometimes that's obvious, sometimes there will be an all-night summit going on in there in the Europa building, and that will always matter. Sometimes there will be, I don't know, a major state aid or competition announcement that's clearly news. But a lot of the time it won't be so easy to figure out whether something important has happened or not. That, I would say, is something to pay attention to. And a related thing is that a lot of the time, to understand what's happening here, you have to understand what's happening inside a lot of the member states. So just to think of an example, a few months ago, when the migration crisis reared its head again, and all of a sudden we knew it was going to be discussed at a European Council, that was on the agenda, but all of a sudden a week before we were told there was going to be a mini summit here inside the Berlin Commission building. That's very unusual, and it wasn't going to involve all of the member states, but I think about a dozen of them. And actually what this was about was helping Angela Merkel fix a domestic crisis inside her own coalition there. And this was not really anything to do with anything that was happening at the border, with any particular migration flows. This was about a highly political crisis between Angela Merkel's party and its sister party in Bavaria, which is facing elections in October. So to understand why you had to go to a summit here at the weekend, you needed to understand what was happening in Bavaria. And that's just an example of the way that domestic, sometimes even regional politics can have a major impact on what's happening here in Brussels.